Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you once again for delivering such an informative session. We'll be now moving over to our next session. The next session will be taken up by Dr. Leena Gahane. Introducing her, she is professor in physics with teaching experience of 20 years and has worked as lead academic as human life and nanofluids. She has delivered more than 640 lectures on many national, social, technical issues on academic, social, and organizational platforms and chaired the session in national and international conferences. She is a well-known freelance writer and has written almost 1,000 articles and poems on many current issues in newspapers, magazines, and on social media in Hindi, English, and Marathi. She has also been on electronic media panelist, raising female and social issues on TV channels. She is an HR trainer for many sectors, KTC, PWD, Irrigation Department, and many more. Team member of unique study done on status of women in India in 2019 and has an opportunity to discuss findings of this study with Honorable President of the Bharat. Today she will deliver a session on student satisfaction survey. I request you, ma'am, to please guide the audience.
Thank you, Ruby, for your kind words. I hope I am audible.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yeah. Thank you so very much. Let me share my contents. Are my contents seen? Is my screen seen? Dr. Ruby?
Increase up.
Yes, yes. Hello.
Yes, madam, the screen is visible.
Thank you so much. Okay, let me seek blessings from Bharat Mata first. Nitim prati prayarayati haseyam nityam cha satyam sujnanamasya. या पाठयत्या शुचकर्मनिष्ठा सावंदनीया मम मातृभूमि मम मातृभूमि, जो हमें नैतिकता के मार्ग पर चलने की प्रेरणा देती है, जो सत्य बोलने का आग्रह धरती है, जो अच्छे ज्ञान के लिए हमें प्रेरित करती है और जो कर्मनिष्ठा सिखाती है, वह मेरी मातृभूमि वंदनीय है। भारत माता की जय। ऑनरेबल वाइस चांसलर प्रोफेसर शिरीष कुलकर्णी जी, प्रिंसिपल ऑफ द इंस्टीट्यूशन प्रोफेसर तेजल जी गांधी, IQAC coordinator Dr. Kalpana ji Patel, officers from NAAC Dr. Ganesh Hegde ji advisor, Dr. Devendra ji Kaude deputy advisor, and one more officer with us, Dr. A.V. Prasad, assistant advisor. All dear participants, namaskars to all. I welcome for this session. And this is the third session in the series, and you might have gotten information about the preparation of SSR. Then how exactly this SSR, once submitted to NAAC, it undergoes the process of DVV, which is very much critical process. But the clarifications raised by the DVV partner and correct answer and documentation or the response to the DVV will lead to the completion of DVV process. Let me tell you that along with the DVV process, simultaneously the student satisfaction survey will be initiated and it will be completed in 1 month's time. Because we are aware of the students are the important stakeholder of the institution, and their opinion about the teaching learning process, the overall academic environment of the institution will play an important role. So overall, the A&A process can be taken up in 3 stages. The first stage is at the institution level, that is preparation of SSR. Second stage is nothing but the participation of the student in the student satisfaction survey. And the third stage is nothing but the on-site visit, that is a peer team visit. So in 2017, NAAC has revised its accreditation framework and started conduction of student satisfaction survey. And the survey analysis score is used as a key component of accreditation. So it is very much necessary that the triple has to be successfully completed. Then only the final score can be augmented as an outcome assessment document. that capturing the student responses to SSS from the list of students provided by the HEI is first of its kind in quality assurance in national and international quality standards. So this is, I think, the innovative initiative by the NAAC to make the student participate in this A&A process. The modus of operandi of this SSS will be the online student satisfaction survey is with regard to teaching and learning process, rightly mentioned by Dr. Devendra Kaude, in criteria 2 and key indicator 2.7, the quantitative metric 2.7.1 with a predetermined weightage of 30 for the university, and it is varying. I shall be showing you how the scores of this SSS will vary as per the type of the institution. The students participating in the survey will remain anonymous throughout the process, and the institution is supposed to submit the student list with all the necessary detail in the Excel template during the SSR submission itself. So it is very much necessary that the correct information of number of students along with all described, pre-described heads of the data template has to be provided by the institution. So this is how you can see at a glance the weightage which is being given to SSS in criteria 2 and the metric number 2.7.1. So for the universities, the weightage is 30 marks. Then in autonomous, it is 50. In UG and PG colleges, the weightage given is 60. So as you are aware of, the criteria 2 is a heavy weighted matrix, and naturally the importance of SSS is there. Now in your HEI portal, you can get the information about the SSS. So on the dashboard, down the line, you can see the student details for the survey, and it has to be provided along with the SSR. So this is the data template, and HEI have to strictly upload text form data of at least 50% of the currently on-roll students in a given data template on an Excel sheet in the portal. So if the total students are, say for an example, 3,000 students are there in the campus for all years, then nearly 1,500 students data is compulsory and it has to be uploaded. So this is the data template where the name of the student, gender, category. So all the columns has to be filled up. It is very much necessary. Each Excel sheet should contain only one active sheet and it should have a 500 students detail. For an example, if you are giving the data for 1,500 students, then naturally the institution has to make 3 Excel sheets, each containing 500 entries. Now the column names and order should not be altered. Kindly maintain the order of the template as it is been provided, and no column or cell should be left blank. The repetition of name, email addresses are not allowed. Any typographic errors will not be considered by the system. So there is one separate column for unique enrollment ID. If the institution doesn't has this, then they can submit the student ID whichever is available with the institution. Then the time period for survey is 1 month. So as soon as the institution submits SSR to the NAAC, within 1 month's time, the process of DVV and SSS, it will be finished up. So the overall process for this survey will be 1 month time. Now precautions has to be taken. On-campus student data only has to be provided, and fair and uninfluenced valid email address has to be provided. So many a times the faculties, they provide their email IDs in the name of student, and that will be a forging of data. Now following rules will be applied for processing of the responses, because this is important process. The institution or the IQAC coordinator, they need to understand this process so that they can encourage the students to participate in SSS. Maximum 2 survey attempts will be done to the institution. In first attempt, 30% of the total enrolled student on the campus, for them the SSS will be executed. And if we are not reaching to the whatever is a desired number, then the second attempt of the survey will also be initiated for remaining 70% of the student to reach the desired level of response. For universities, responses should be received from at least 10% of the students' population or 500 students they should participate, whichever is the lesser. Let me share you about how exactly is the questionnaire. In Triple S, there are 21 overall questions, out of which 20 are objective questions. One is subjective question, so that student can express their views in their own language or words. So specific teaching learning skills of the teacher, it is highlighted in this questionnaire, like subject knowledge, communication skill, class preparation, and use of ICT tools for teaching. Then overall approach of a teacher and institution is also reflected in the questions like right environment, motivation, interpersonal relationship, and feedback. So mean score of each of the question will be calculated and overall mean will be arrived in the criteria 2. So this weightage will be added to the criteria 2. For an example, the random sampling will be done. Currently enrolled students as per the IIQA supplied, suppose that it is 6,000. Then 50% of the current enrolled students will be 3,000. This is, I'm just showing for an example how it will be executed. So 30% of 6,000, that means 1,800 students will be sent with Triple S link. So on the registered email IDs of the student, the link of the Triple S participation will be sent. So in this particular case, 1,800 students will be getting the link. 10% of the total 6,000 student means 600 or 500 which should be participating in the survey and they should respond to the survey. What if 499 students answer to the survey? Minimum 500 students are supposed to respond to the survey and put their responses to all the questions. Only 499 students, if they respond to, then the zero will be the score for the triple S. HEI should encourage the student but not influence the student. So this is important thing, and the HEI should look into that the triple S gets completed and it should be successfully completed. How the institution will know? So on HEI portal, the institution will get the notification about the completion of the triple S. So in this particular case, you can see over here the triple S is being getting the percentage as 10.51. That means the triple S is being successfully completed. So the progress can be monitored on the HEI portal. The survey will complete on the expiry of 30 days from the initiation of the survey. So 1 month's time, and 10% of the total population of student participation has to be there in the survey. Once the survey is over, the aggregated average score calculated from the system for student satisfaction survey, it will get added to the criteria 2 in the scoring. Now here are certain guidelines for HAIs related to triple S. The total entry should not be greater than the number of students which are given in IIQA. So it is very much necessary that the correct number of the student has to be mentioned even in IIQA. The triple S will be administered to the institution simultaneously with the DBB process. If the response rate is lower than the limit, the metric will not taken up for the evaluation. The institution may lose the marks if it is not completed. Only one sheet should be made in one Excel format and the entry should be 500. The triple S will be completed within 30 days simultaneously with the DBB process and after reaching the desired level of the response. The institute can encourage the student to participate in survey and guide them about the survey to make the triple S possible within the given time period of the 10 days. So 10 days time, the link will be activated and in that particular activation time, the student has to respond to the survey. Triple S questionnaire is in English and Hindi version and it is available on the NAAC website. If needed, HEI can translate them in the local languages for the information of the student so that student understand what is the intent of those particular questions. An email enclosed with a poster regarding student satisfaction survey should be sent to the HEIs. So it is very much necessary that they can download the poster and they can display it on the notice board for the awareness so that student will be participating. Regarding student satisfaction survey to the student and to all stakeholders, they can put display it on the notice board. They can send the posters on the WhatsApp even if they have such a database with the institution. The institution teacher should not anyway try to influence the student with respect to survey. So that is very much important. Survey will be analyzed. The analysis of the survey would be done using a software to aggregate the responses and generate a score. The system generated score has an impact on overall score of a second criteria of teaching, learning, and evaluation. The response to the open-ended question will also be aggregated to find out the most common suggestion and criticism emerging out of the survey. The students are asked to give 3 observations in the suggestions to improve the overall teaching learning experience in the institution. The analysis would be carried out by aggregating the most occurring suggestions in the student responses. So the outcome of the AAAS, it provides an idea about general expectations, observations, and suggestions from the student. This information given to the peer team is used for validation as well as peer team report preparation. So AAAS observations, it will be shared with the peer team and they will validate the data or whatever information or whatever suggestion student has given in this AAAS, and it will be a part of peer team report. This will ensure a genuine feedback for the institution to improve further in future. So it is very much necessary that a student should be encouraged to take part in this overall A&A process. They should be a part of this because finally the vision of the NAAC is to have the quality, the defining element of the institution. And we want that the good citizens should come out for them, the good academic culture and all prospects for their future has to be there in the institution because the Prime Minister has given a clarion call to make Bharat the Atmanirbhar. Unless and until students are motivated, given a right atmosphere for incubating their own ideas, we cannot go for a good startups event. So let us take the risk in life. A beautiful sentence by Swami Vivekananda. If you win, you will lead, and if you lose, you can guide. So let us make our Bharat the Atmanirbhar Bharat, and that is the importance of what you can say the AAAS in this overall NAAC process. Thank you so very much for patience.
Thank you, ma'am, for such an informative session on student satisfaction survey. I think this is something which is very, very important from each institution's perspective. Uh, uh, this session is now up for question and answer. If anyone has any query, we can take up one question from the participant. I think Madam session was itself very self-explanatory, and I guess participants are not having any doubts pertaining to it. So thank you once again for such a wonderful session, and it was a pleasure to hear from you.
Thank you, Dr. David.
We will be now moving over to our last session of today. To deliver the session, we have here with us Dr. A.V. Prasad. He is currently working as an assistant advisor in National Assessment and Accreditation Council, Bangalore, a postgraduate from Faculty of Statistics from Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati. Dr. Prasad. Apologies, we are having